He's Brent Musburger, the lead play-by-play voice for the SEC Network, signing a contract extension with the mothership. Brent, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, Dan. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. What is the game plan for Brent Musburger today?
I am just coming back from tending to my son's two Labradors. He's on a brief holiday, and I've got a couple of the little dogs in the car. We get the irrigation started out here in Montana, and then I'll head up and Dan, I'll hit the little white ball a couple of times today, and play a little golf and enjoy the beautiful Montana weather. You ought to bring the show out here. You ought to do it from Yellowstone and Glacier during the summer. We'd love to have you out here.
Do you have a broadcast set up at your house, Brent?
Yes, we have a studio, and my son can get you all set up in there, and you bring the boys out, and we'll have a hootenanny.
Wow, I like that. Congratulations on the new contract there.
Yeah, thanks. It's at least somebody stayed, right?
But you talked about this with Joe Paterno, and you said he'll coach till he dies. Are you going to broadcast until you die?
I certainly hope so. I would be a terrible retiree. I keep shredding those letters from the AARP because I'm just not ready.
But you have the enthusiasm, and I think enthusiasm is the first thing to leave us. And it's not just in this business, but really in other jobs. You still have it. I marvel. I even said this to Mike Tirico a couple of years ago. I said, Brent could be in Iowa on a Tuesday night for Iowa-Penn State basketball and have the same kind of enthusiasm you'd have if it's, a bigger event. And I marvel at that. I think that that's a great character trait that you have and you continue to maintain.
Dan, I'm blessed. I'm very lucky. I've been around athletics really all my life. As I've told you before, would love to have been a participant, but I was not that good at any particular game. But I loved it all. I love people to compete, and I love the folks that I'm around. Now working with Jesse Palmer, and it's a delight. He does some work on Good Morning America, as you know, and he's very well traveled and well educated. I covered him as a player actually when he was a quarterback with the Gators, and he played for Steve Spurrier. Now, so I really don't lose my enthusiasm simply because I enjoy the people. I think that's very important. My best friends are involved deeply in sport. I love the broadcasting part of it. And when you were talking about the Golden State Warriors, and last night my wife and I enjoyed watching Game 1 of the finals. When I got spare time and I'm not doing anything, I tune on the television and watch ball games. I mean, one of my great delights this year is hoping that the Cubs get over their bad century plus and finally get into the World Series, and they're off to a great start. So, as you can tell, I mean, if I'm not working, my passion's athletics. I love it, and when I get home off the road, I look forward to you fellows on Sunday night, and now you're going to add Thursday night to the repertoire, and it's great. I don't think that anything comes across on television quite like a sporting event. It's just great to watch the fellows compete at the highest level.
Run down some of your favorite broadcasting moments, just to let people know you've done this a long, long time, and you started when the pregame show on CBS. But as far as games that you've been involved in, can you?
Dan, there's so many. It's hard to pick out. In fact, I guess the moments I remember are the aftermath, such as the Doug Flutie game down in Miami, the editing of the tape that you never see when Miami late in that fourth quarter marching down for a touchdown and timeout is called, and we had a Parab Mike guy who was the best in the business, and he was right over with Jimmy Johnson when Bernie Kosar came over, and Jimmy said to Bernie, "What do you want to do?" And without hesitating, Bernie said, "Run the bleeping ball right the bleeping at him." And I mean, it was, and Ara Parsegan and Pat Hayden both got very, very quiet on me. So I just had to say, well, folks, I guess we know what he wants to do. And he did. He ran Mel Bratton into the end zone, smash mouth football, and it looked like they were going to win the game. And when you go back and you watch the replay, because the Flutie game is replayed all the time in the fall, you do not see that. That has been taken out and is on the cutting room floor someplace. And it always amuses me, things like that. I did not know who caught the ball, but fortunately I had a Boston College graduate in the truck. He was an executive by the name of Kevin O'Malley, and he pulled one of the keys back and said, it's Gerard Phelan, Brent. And so then on the replay, the first replay, I was able to mention Phelan's name, and it turned out that Doug Flutie didn't know who caught the ball. He asked his lineman on the way up the tunnel, who caught the ball? And the center looked at him and said, your roommate caught it. And that's how he realized that it was Phelan. So I always think it's the little things, Dan, that go on around the broadcast. I mean, everybody remembers the game and sees them, but we have things behind the scenes that, and I'm sure you're the same way with some of your broadcasts through the years.
But how has the game changed in how we're supposed to broadcast it? I mean, has social media changed anything, or is your approach have to be different?
Well, I think that social media has changed it dramatically. I don't think it changes it that much for me, except that I realize that there's a word called trending that goes on out there with certain things. And I was made aware during the one championship game that a lovely lady by the name of Catherine Webb was trending. I can't imagine why. But
you made her famous, Brent.
Oh, she was doing fine on her own, and she's now a mother and happily married to AJ, and I hope they live happily ever after. I was delighted to see AJ play so well in place of the injured Andy Dalton for a while. We wish Dalton the best, but it looked to me actually like AJ might have a future. But back to your question, I don't think it changes my job that much. But I realize that people come in and out of broadcast because of social media, and they talk to each other and they say there's a good game or there's a bad game. And so I guess if there's anything, we have to continually update the public as to what's happening. You've got a new audience coming in, and especially if a game is really developing into something, you've got to tell that audience how the game got to the point where a fresh audience is coming into. I would guess that the attention span, Dan, is down. I think only the most passionate hardcore fans probably watch from the first snap to the last. They duck in and out. So those little things, technically, we're a lot better. We're like the athletes. I mean, the technology that's been developed throughout my lifetime is unbelievable. And of course, the football experience in particular, the sport was made for television, instant replay, and all the different angles and cameras that we can bring back through the years. I mean, it's a marvel of what we're able to put out on the air for the fan now. And I can see why certain folks who've been fans for a long, long time have gone to the stadiums. Actually, would rather stay home, and that's I think a tribute to the technology people. I doubt that the broadcasting itself has changed all that much. We're a little more informed. We're probably a little more apt to mention negative stories. For example, whoever draws the Baylor assignments this year in football, they will refer to the sexual troubles and the reason why the coach was fired, et cetera. And back in the day when I first started, some of those negative stories were not mentioned on the broadcast. And I think we've all grown past that. So I think those things have changed a lot through the years.
I have an idea. I presented this to Al Michaels. It's Steak Night in Almerica, starring Al Michaels. So it's a steakhouse tour with Al Michaels because he only eats steak. Now, we were thinking about this yesterday when we knew we were going to have you on. We would do a pub crawl with you, Brent Musburger. So it's a Musburger tour of bars, taverns, looking for the best hamburger. We'll shoot it for TV. Are you in?
I am all in.
I like it.
You just tell me where the first pub is, lad, and I'll be there.
Will you wear the cowboy hat?
I will definitely wear the cowboy hat, and I'll put on a new pair of boots for you.
I like that. I like that. Final question. It's a serious one. More handsome, Jesse Palmer or Kirk Herbstreit?
Well, because he's still a bachelor, I'm leaning to Jesse.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I think that's the politically correct answer. It's close, but you'd give Jesse the nod there.
I do. I give Jesse the nod because I have been with both of them around groups of the other sex.
Yeah.
And I can see who generates the most attention.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well done. Hey, congrats. Always great to talk to you, Brent, and good luck playing golf today. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. We'll talk to you down the road.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Brent Musburger, ESPN SEC Network, 77. He's great.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.